Tashi Thomas. She just did a wonderful job introducing herself. She is one of our amazing clients. She is actually the first client for Firestarter Entertainment, the very first. Now we have over 1,000 clients. She was our very first client way back when she was like 9. Right? Mm-hmm. And she played young Nala in The Lion King on Broadway in New York. Yep. And that's how Firestarter came to be when she booked that show. Basically, I became her agent, and that was that, and Firestarter was born. So I want to know, what was it like being in a Broadway show, Teshi?
Well, I mean, having to switch from, public school and like just it was just a gigantic switch, having to like move to New York for a year and a half, especially being so young. It's like, wow, what's going on? Like, there's so much happening, but at the same time, it was a wonderful experience. And I'm glad I experienced that at such a young age, because it's like, with the things that I'm accomplishing now, it's like, it's great. It's great to have, it was a great experience.
And you were 9, right? 9 when you booked that?
10.
10? You auditioned at 9, and then you were 10. Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then how long did you do Lion King?
For a year and a half. Mm-hmm.
Wow, and you had to live in New York and everything.
Yes, it was a huge, I love New York though. I love it now. And I got to learn so much, like the culture out there was amazing. So it was amazing. I loved it.
Amazing. So when you were done with Lion King, what made you want to, now you're doing a lot more television and film, what made you want to transition to TV and film?
Well, I was fluent in the Broadway business and with all the shows going on and everything, but I wanted to see how far I could, evolve and everything. So it took a while for me to book my first film job, and it was a lot of no's before I got that. Yet I believe it took about two or 3 years before I got it.
Wow. And what was that like? I mean, I wanted to talk to you about auditioning and feeling, it's so hard, right? Like you hear no. What was it like? I mean, being a kid and having to get all that rejection, was it hard? Was it easy? How did you deal with it?
It was not easy whatsoever. No. It was crazy because every audition that I would do, you sometimes you don't get the feedback that you would like to hear, so that you can evolve and add on to what you need to bring to the next audition. So sometimes I wouldn't get that, or barely anything at all, and it would be tough to try and adapt. But yeah, it was really tough. But eventually I got the hang of things, and all that time in between, I was able to train and study film and study everything, just to make sure that the next job that came, it could be that yes.
Exactly. You might just be a kid, you're 17, but you have been training since you were how old?
7. I started
I think even before 7. Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah, because I met you when you were 7. You were already good. So, so you've been training for a long. So, I mean, I think that's really important for people to understand, is that it takes training. You can't just pop out and go, hey, I want to be an actor. You have to actually learn how to act, learn how to sing. And even though you're a young person, you're only 17, you spent over 10 years training. 10 years. So all of the success that you're having. So you've had all these no's. What was it like to finally get your first yes?
I believe my first film was Thriller with Dallas Jackson. And I remember getting that phone call, and I was like, oh really? No, you're kidding. You're you're joking, But just tears of joy, because it was a relief of, not trying so hard, and finally getting accepted, and being able to show my talent in something great, So
Exactly.
it was really, really, really happy. I was really happy to hear that.
But there's nothing like that first job, that first.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, yes, you did Broadway, but TV film was a whole separate thing. And
Yeah,
first,
it's two different fields. So it was like, I was great.
And harder. I mean, not harder. They're all hard, but TV film is really challenging. So fast forward, you your biggest credits today, like what was it? Every kid watches Disney Channel, Nickelodeon. Mm-hmm. So that's like the prime. Like it's one thing to be on like network TV, but to book Disney. So you were on Raven's Home with Raven Simone, and you played the girlfriend of what's his name? Booker, the character
Raven's
Booker.
son, yes.
Yeah, Raven's son on the show. Mm-hmm. And what was that like when you found out you were going to be on Disney Channel?
Disney, I grew up watching Disney. Like, I grew up watching That's So Raven. And so, never in a million years would I have guessed that I would be on the same show as her, as well as the other wonderful castmates. So
and doing scenes with her.
Yes, and it's like, oh my God, like I'm in the presence of the energy on the set was just so great. I loved every minute of it, and that audition process was like unbelievable because I don't do point, but they asked me to do point, and I was like, all right, I'm a do point for y'all.
You're gonna figure it out.
I
figured it out really quick.
Yes, I gave my everything, and everything went well. So
make it till you make it. That's a really good lesson. Like
exactly.
Like, what you want point? I'm gonna borrow some point shoes from a friend. I remember, and I'm gonna make it happen. And that's so important for people to understand. Think it's your actor. Act like you do point.
Exactly. They don't have to know exactly what you do. You just gotta show everything that you've got, you know?
Yes, exactly. So fast forward, so you did Disney Channel, which obviously is like every kid's dream come true. Yeah. And then the big shebang, you got a recurring role on OWN Network.
Yes.
With Oprah Winfrey. So, and it's called David Makes Man. And right now, actually, it's airing the first five episodes on OWN. So watch it. When are they playing right now, those first 5 episodes?
I know yesterday was like the last day that they were showing. It was like a marathon of the first.
Oh, the marathon. Okay.
But I know next week they'll be showing the rest of the episodes. So, and it also be on the OWN app. So the whole season is on the OWN app. So you guys can check that.
Perfect. So what was it like meeting Oprah?
Woo! Oh man, that story I can't wait to tell. That's like a party, you know, you just throw it out there. It's like, yeah, I met Oprah. It's unbelievable. But I was filming a scene with Akili, plays David, and it was a very emotional scene, but like it was so cold outside, I couldn't cry. So I was like, okay, like what's going on? You know? So I stepped to the side, and this man comes up to me and was like, hey, you got to get together because she's watching you. And he leaves. I was like, what? Who's watching me? And I turn into the tent, and it's Oprah. She's waving at me, and I'm like, oh no, I gotta get it together, you know? And so I filmed the scene. It was a beautiful shot, and I was getting ready to head inside because once again it was cold. And Oprah is like, hey, stop! Like I'm trying to, I'm like, oh, is she talking to me? Like, oh, like I froze. She came up to me and gave me this grand hug, and was like that. Everything you added in that scene was so beautiful, and I wanted to thank you for, showing your talent. And like before she left, she's like, that girl right there, she's gonna make everybody just love this show. And I was like, oh wow, like that's, you don't hear that every day, So I felt so good.
From Oprah.
Exactly.
From Oprah.
Yes. So I was so grateful for that moment.
That's amazing. And we're doing that show was amazing. I love, you're so talented, so amazing in the show. What was it like having a recurring role and living? So you filmed in Florida, but you live on the West Coast. What was it like filming in another state and living there for 3 months?
Well, I didn't live out there. I would fly out there whenever it would be time to shoot my scenes and everything. Okay. So I stayed out here for most of the time in Las Vegas for most of the time until they needed me. But everything out there. I fun fact, I only went to Universal like one time, and it was like a couple short minutes. But being able to film out there, it was great to be out there. Like, I love going out of my home state to like film stuff, because it's like I get to experience new things. And so with this whole grand experience, it was really great. And I loved meeting everybody. Everybody was so sweet. Just from the film, the casting, catering, everybody was just so loving. And that's what made me love the experience even more.
That's amazing. So we have